Taoiseach, can I ask you if it's of concern, if the records of some of those leaders attending the G8 summit in Fermanagh are of a concern to you? The fact that the Russian President Putin, for example, routinely crushes the right to democratic protest, peaceful protest in Russia. That US President Obama routinely sends pilotless drones into Pakistan, which have killed some thousands of innocent civilians. And the economic policies of the likes of Chancellor Merkel and Prime Minister Cameron are contributing in their austerity to the 26 million people continuing to be unemployed in the European Union. And that these and all the others and the global policies that together they advocate and implement as leaders of world capitalism are what is responsible for the fact that hundreds of millions of people are hungry in this world. And can I ask you, Taoiseach, what role will you play at the G8 summit? Can you elaborate? You said, if I understood you correctly, that you have no formal role. So are you going to sit there quiet as a church mouse? Or are you going to raise some of these critical issues and challenge these leaders and confront them with the effects of their policies on hundreds, if not thousands of millions of people? Now, Taoiseach, can I ask you if you know that very many ordinary people, that's young people, trade unionists, advocates for the poorest countries on earth, plan peaceful protests around the G8 summit? And are you aware that this right to protest is being consciously and consistently undermined in a number of ways by scare stories in the media, for example, deliberately playing up lurid threats of wide-scale violence, disorder and terror, etc. Now, I do understand there have been some bomb threats by perhaps dissident Republicans, which is quite reactionary and to be absolutely condemned. But this is a way beyond this. Are you aware that the Northern Ireland's Justice Minister, for example, of the Executive, Mr. Ford, has highlighted these fears by demanding permanent sittings of the courts, including during nights and Sunday, before the summit even gets away, to cater for potentially hundreds of people who will perhaps, in his mind, be thrown into prison. That Maghaberry prison has been, a part of it has been set up for this purpose. Do you understand the reactionary nature of this kind of fear-mongering as an attempt to cut across the civil right of people to dissent and to oppose the policies of the G8? Isn't it clear that it's designed to discourage people from attending? And you have a wide range of people protesting against fracking, for example, and many disparate but crucial issues facing communities who do want to protest, but who are being dissuaded by this. And we've experience of this here. Similar lurid threats when we were protesting against the Iraq war and coming up to important demonstrations, or even the big summit in Dublin, if it was in the year 2000, if I remember, when the government of the day brought in water cannon from the north for no reason whatsoever except to stoke up fear and try to frighten people and families, particularly, to stay away. So can I ask you, Taoiseach, if you will condemn this, and if you will clearly say that people have the right to protest peacefully and should come, and I encourage people to come out to show their views. And really, isn't the false fronts painted on the shop fronts, which you said you were aware of, isn't that really adding insult to the injury of the people of Northern Ireland who are languishing in unemployment and many in poverty at the present time, and see this going on, presumably paid for as part of the incredible £60 million sterling that is going to be spent largely on security around this G8 summit. Isn't it incredible that world leaders feel themselves so much under siege that instead of that money going in to develop local economies and jobs and decent communities, they have to spend this money, or the taxpayers are forced to spend this money protecting them from the people they're supposed to serve and represent?
Thank you, David.